All right, everybody, I want to tell you a little sad story. So, one of my favorite things to do at meeting time is to do something called Question of the Day. So, we were doing it. This was one of those ways that we could bond, because as I mentioned in my prior video, I took over someone else's classroom. So, I wanted to find a way to build community, get to know each other, just have that good overall feeling. Every morning, we'd have this question of the day. And we would go over to our mat. So here's where we'd go over to the mat after everybody had put everything away back there on their hooks. They would get to come over here for 2 minutes and they would discuss the question of the day. And the only rule was that no one could be left sitting by themselves. So if you saw someone, you'd ask them to come over and then you would have this time together to chat and get to know some friends. And a timer would go off, and then I would come over and join the group, and we would do question of the day. And I would incorporate different things like charting things or number bonds, even to tie into math, because we would immediately go into math, right? And so I have throughout this time have had anywhere between 22 and 24 students. So we would come up, we would do question of the day, and so like for example, it would be sitting over here, and I would read it as they were getting ready to listen to announcements for the morning, and that way they could kind of think about it. Anyway, so what was happening is the behaviors were just getting a little bit too out of control. Sometimes it would get too noisy. Sometimes the kids would start laying down like they were tired. Sometimes they would have side conversations and they wouldn't stay with the group. And so I gave a warning, probably too many warnings. But again, I was within those first few weeks, 10 weeks of being together. And I wanted to really see if I, had a conversation with you at morning meeting and about, do you love doing this together? Yes, I love this too. This is one of my favorite things to do with you. I love getting to know you. But do you notice what's happening? And so we would have these conversations, probably had it a number of times. Again, if I had started with this class at the very beginning, we would have cut it out very quickly. It was like, no, I'm going to extend some grace, that sort of thing. And so one day, we didn't have question of the day. And someone asked, oh, we didn't do our question of the day, Miss Norgren. I said, we didn't. And I didn't say anything more. And the next day, didn't do question of the day. Nope, we didn't do question of the day. The third day, I sat down and I said, you've been noticing we haven't been doing question of the day. Yeah? Yes. Do you remember what was happening as we were doing question of the day? They'd raise their hand. Oh, even some of the ones that were doing things, yes. I said, so it seems like at this particular time, we are not able to do question of the day. Now it has to become something that we earn back. And so now we are in that mode of, if we really love question of the day, we know how we should be sitting, we know how we should be conducting our meetings, and one day we may earn question of the day back. And we just keep it moving. And so, again, it's one of those things where, and this is one of those things that I have gotten from my Montessori training, which is to really read the environment, to read the students, to see if they will self-correct, to give them a chance, because it's first thing in the morning, you're very excited to see each other, so, I understand that, really giving that empathy to them, but also understanding, like, we have a certain protocol for what we do in our morning meeting, and also, I, as a teacher, they don't know this, I'm on a clock. I need to get into my first curriculum piece within a certain time frame. And when this is taking so long, it not only doesn't bode well for me if I'm being observed, but also it doesn't really bode well for them because they're taking way too much time over here. And then also, as we know, transitions can be tricky anyway. They take a little more time to sit in their desk, so there's more time and more time and more time. And as we know, we just do not have enough time in a classroom some days, or it doesn't feel that way. So anyway, I wanted to share with you how the setting boundaries and to be able to give natural consequences, I have used it. I've used it with our question of the day. And again, it's that old adage, it hurt me more than it probably hurts you, because I really did enjoy that time with the students. But unfortunately, at this time, we aren't able to do it. And so no matter how romantic I am about a procedure that we do, I will cut it if we're showing that it's not working out for our group. All right. Make sure and share any questions that you might have, and I will address it on video.